I'm not normally one for reviews, but I've decided I'm going to start reviewing some IEMs and other things I own because it helps the general consumers. Okay, so I bought the KZ ZSN IEMs, and I kind of like the whole chi-fi, the concept of like Chinese earphones and whatnot, allowing you to be able to explore higher quality audio at the cost of quality control, but with lower prices, yada yada yada. So the KZ-ZSN, this is the box. When you get the box, it's like the same as, I'll show you my ATRs at some point and review those. So KZ earphone, very very standard box. This is what they always use. It's not, I don't like it. I don't like these boxes. They look nice for like the budget, but overall they're not amazing. There's better, Okay, so onto the actual IEMs. Let's start off with the cable. I'm gonna have some unpopular opinions here, so I'll just attach the cables to address each individual thing. So these are what the actual IEMs look like. So as you can see, a metal back plate with screws, then plastic, then you've got the actual tip that goes in your ear canal, and these use an ear loop design, so it'd go in your ear that way up with your, like, in your ear. The cable would trail out the side here, go around your ear. So what I like about these compared to older KZ IEMs, for example, I'll just pop my ZSRs here for a second. Is that you see here you've got the 2-pin plug, which has a slight protrusion out, whereas in the ZSRs the plug is literally 2 pins like that, and the IEM, it plugs in like that. Now it's not the worst. There's not going to be that much strain on the pins because it does go slightly inside the actual casing, but this is very difficult to do with one hand, by the way. But when it comes to these, I really like the cable design for these, especially the fact with the ZSRs, I've removed it myself, but these cables come with memory wire that allows you to mold them to shape and they stay that way, but the memory wire is literally just I don't have any handy, but it's like, you know how you get twist ties? They're like that, which isn't particularly nice. It's a bit annoying and it causes the cable to tangle, whereas these ear loops are molded and are flexible. They will go back, and it doesn't give you more control over the shape, but it gives you less of a hassle sorting out how the cable goes around your ear. It's already there. You can bend it. It doesn't stay in one position, so it moves. Like, it's easier to bend than the memory wire, but does not stay in the shape you bend it to. It will bend back to what it's supposed to be, which is good because it automatically wraps around your ear that way. It's a lot more comfortable, believe me. So the actual IEMs themselves, let me just double check. I can't remember which one's left and right, so... Well, actually I can. This one's right. This one's right. So I think, yeah, you can tell the difference because they're both different shape. You know which one goes in left and right ear, because if you look at that, imagine the person facing, so you hold it up so that the pins are facing to the side and you can see the back plate, and the way the pins are facing is the way the person is facing. So this goes in the right ear because the person's facing to the right. Now, these... I'm not sure what side this is. I know it's on here somewhere. Oh, it says here. Don't know if you'll be able to see. Oops. Okay, no you can't, but this one says R on it, so that means that it goes in that way. So I'll just pop the plugs back in. Oops. And if you're new to these kind of designs, the ear hooks always go away from the tip. So the way the ear hooks bend round is the opposite direction to that of the tip from the plug. So anyway, let's move on to the actual cable itself. I did not find this kind of braiding that appealing when I first ever saw it, but it grows on you, it really does, and there are no microphonics on it. When you like rub the cable, pull on the cable when these are in your ears, you don't hear a thing. You don't hear like brushing against the cable. But you do with ZSRs, which have a normal cable. Now, I kind of still prefer cables that are braided like a rope like this, but you know, these have a weird aesthetic that's really growing on me because of like the gloss, and also they look like somewhat metallic. So one thing I'm not too keen on, that's mainly because of my TRM V80s, which I'll do a review on. I'll probably do a review on all of these just to balance things out, but if I open this up, similar cable, it's braided, it's black. These earphones are completely metal rather than just a metal backplate. This bit with the microphone and the play pause button is also metal, and the plug is also metal. One thing that I would have preferred is a 90-degree jack like this, because for me, I use my phone to play music, which a lot of people in the audiophile community are potentially going to say, why do you use your phone? But I don't have a problem with it. It's just easy for me because like that's putting everything on my phone, especially the fact I use Spotify, which is also going to cause people to pull a face in the audiophile community. But at the end of the day, there is more quality difference in the hardware than there is in the software. Compression does damage quality, but not as much as a bad pair of earphones. These are amazing. Like, I paid about £10 for them, I think, something around that. So that's what, $15 to $18. These cost me £15, and I would take these over these any day, because these are not a balanced sound signature. This cable is a mess, I'll sort that out in a bit. The sound signature of these, bass is very much there. They're quite bright. The treble is quite prominent. They're quite clear. and by that you would associate that with recessed mids, but the mids are pretty good as well. The one problem I have with them in terms of sound quality is the treble, in fact, and it's not piercing, it's not sibilant, it's boxy. It feels really rolled off, like really early. Like, it's not muffled per se, it just feels like the wrong frequencies are emphasized, and it makes things feel like cheap, like you get a cheap metallic sound to it. Like, I don't know, it's a bit raspy but not sibilant and piercing. These have a very, very relaxed, laid-back tone, and they are very comfortable. These are the only Chinese IEMs I've had that I have been able to say are actually comfortable. Even my V80s in here aren't as comfortable, and they're smaller. You would expect smaller ones, the smaller IEMs, to not bother your ears as much, but these are shaped in a way that, like, it's mainly this curve right here, this one right here where my thumb is, and it kind of goes around the pinna and relieves pressure, whereas these is literally like a round circle and it presses a little bit more. But yeah, you may have noticed I took the twist tie and put it here. If I just one second. I wasn't really one for chin rests or anything, like chin rests, I wasn't really one for like adjusting the split between the left and right cables, but I decided to do it just to try it, and I've left it like that. I find it a bit easier because I don't have such a low droop of the cables. It's actually a bit easier to manage the cables that way. It is a very nice cable. I very much like this cable. It looks nice. I mean, when I first got it, when I knew it was going to be like a coppery colour, I was like, I like the TRN V80 cable. It's black, it's discreet, blends in with everything, but this is I really like this cable. Like, it's grown on me so much. And in fact, the TRN V80s use the same kind of ear loops, but let me just show you something that I've not seen anyone comment on so far. Look at the shape of those ear loops. This is ear shaped. This is, it just goes around. It's loop. This is a loop. This is an ear shape. This knows what kind of curvature it needs to go around your ear. This one is a lot more comfortable. This actually, when I first used it, pressed on the outside of my pinna, this cable, and it irritated me a bit, which I'd never ever had in an ear loop IEM before. But you know, shit happens. That's a quote from one of my friends back at home. But yeah, these are really nice. Also, stock ear tips. I have not changed these. The stock ear tips are really good. They smell weird. They smell. One of my friends described it as smelling like moldy coffee. I don't know what moldy coffee smells like, but it smells like old paint, actually. Like paint that's been used and dried up and used and dried up. Like, you know, when you get the really cheap types of paint and it just dries on the bottle, that kind of smell. I'm not really sure. I think that's what it smells like anyway. It's really strange. Doesn't bother me though. They're so comfortable in my ears. These like, honestly, if it weren't for the sound quality of my V80s, I would probably sell them or give them as a Christmas present and just stick with these. I've used these a lot more than these, even though I acknowledge these sound way better. I say way better, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's mainly because of the resolution and whatnot, and the balancing of like the mids. The mids are a little more in your face than these, and I really like mids. I mean, here, Sennheiser Momentum 1.0s. I changed the ear pads, ruined them a little bit, but also it's more comfortable than the old ear pads. Like, look at these. Look how hard and horrible that is. Look how spongy this is. So much softer. It's, yeah, you know, if I'm going to use headphones for a long time, like for hours on end, I need them to be comfortable. So that's why I favour these, because I tend to, if I listen to music, it's on a commute, or usually it's long term. Like sometimes, if I'm doing stuff, I will choose these over these. If I want to listen to music for the sake of listening to music, I will use these, or these. These sound better than these. In some cases, I like, you know, but these sound nicer, not gonna lie, but I don't know which ones I would actually sacrifice, because I do like good sound quality, but yeah, also when I bought these, I didn't like the look of either of the other colours. Like, there was a silver and pink, or silver and purple, whatever it is, and then a black and cyan. I got the black, like fully black ones, and after purchasing them I was like, maybe I should have got the black and cyan ones, because all of my other IEMs are black. ZSR's black, V80's black, there they are, my Sony MDR EX15 also black. Like, all of them are like literally the most bland monotone color. Like, I don't like silver or white on IEMs, because I don't like white cables at all. They look like kitchen appliances. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't like it. But honestly, with the copper cable, you know, it changes things a bit. I do really like these. Recommend them if you need a new pair of earphones, willing to spend about 10 to 20, about £10 on them, or $15. These are good, and especially compared to these, I don't like these that much. I haven't listened to these seriously for a while. I listened to them to compare them, and they made me pull a face because things are so off. Although, one thing I will be honest about is the highs are a lot higher quality. Like, the highs extend a lot more. There's a lot more treble extension, whereas these are more treble focused, but it rolls off a lot sooner. So these, you know, these will pick out more details, but these have better tuning overall. Like, a better balance of the frequencies. Mids aren't drowned out by the bass and treble on these like they are on the ZSRs. So this is the KZ ZSN, and they're probably my favourite IEM. Not for sound quality, but for overall everything. They're just a job well done. Like, I started to not like Chi-Fi, then I got these, and I changed my mind again. So, recommend these. This has been 19 minutes, so I'll just cut off from here. Thanks for watching.